Yeah, super. No, I don't need anything. Do I need any mic? No. I usually don't need with 1,000 people gathering. So it's hardly, how many people? Sorry?
Around
50 or 100?
50.
Sure? Who can give me a head count? Come on, one lady and one gentleman. একটু উঠে দাঁড়াও বাবা. If you have legs and spine. No, none of you?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
The girl
Okay.
in the green, please. I like green color, so maybe you can give a head count of the girls
Yeah.
and you can give us a head count of the
Just a
boys.
head count of two sides.
Do you remember that movie Tare Zameen Par? Huh? And then there was another movie with Kajol and Shah Rukh Khan. There was a kid who used to calculate the stars. देख रहा है रूम में? So you forgot to count yourself or what?
Sir, 46 girls.
46 girls.
19 boys.
How much in total?
65.
What's your good name?
Dibbendu.
দিব্যেন্দু
Yes.
চাঁদটা কোথায় গেছে? নামের মানে দিব্য চাঁদ তো?
Actually, divine light of moon.
Oh my God. What is divine light?
ডিভাইন লাইট মানে এখানে অনেকটা ওই আধ্যাত্মিকতার একটা উৎস স্বরূপ, মানে একটা লাইট যেটাকে আমি আধ্যাত্মিকতার লাইট বলতে পারি। তো সেই রকম তো সেটা যদি কোনো একটা চাঁদের কাছ থেকে আসে, তো সেই চাঁদের আলোটার নাকি এটার অর্থ হয়।
আমি পুরো ঘেঁটে গেলাম।
মানে একটা চাঁদ, সেই চাঁদ থেকে তো লাইট
মানে
আসছে।
চাঁদ একটা হতে হয়?
না মানে সেটার কথা বলছি না, মানে চাঁদ রয়েছে, চাঁদ থেকে মানে এটা একটা রূপক ধর্মী আইরনি, যে চাঁদ থেকে আলো আসছে, সেই আলোটা
Do
আমাদের
you write poem?
তো তারা
I'm getting that vibration.
হ্যাঁ, তো আমাদের উপরে লাইটটা পড়ছে, তো সেই চাঁদের আলোটাকে যদি ডিভাইন লাইট ভাবি, আধ্যাত্মিকতার আলো ভাবি, তাহলে সেই আলোটার অর্থটা হচ্ছে দিব্যেন্দু।
Okay. So you are totally devoted towards spirituality.
Yes, not totally, but
Half.
half বলবো না, তবে অনেক ইন্টারেস্ট বিষয়টা।
অনেক ইন্টারেস্ট। ইন্টারেস্টটা কিরকম?
মানে আমার অন্যান্য বইপত্র পড়ার থেকে মানে এই ধরনের বইপত্র পড়া অনেক বেশি ভালো লাগে, এই ধরনের আলোচনা অনেক বেশি ভালো লাগে। আমি অনেক সেশনে অ্যাটেন্ড করি।
Now interesting question for you. Why you are here? I know ma'am told. Apart from that answer.
অবশ্যই।
আর কোনো
না সেটা বলবো না, মানে এখানে এসছি মানে আমি মানে শুধুমাত্র আজকে সেশনটার জন্য নাকি
আজকে
এখানে
সেশনের জন্য?
ইউনিভার্সিটিতে আজকে সেশনে এসছি অবশ্যই, মানে আমি বাইরে থাকি, তো আজকে আমি এখানে কলকাতা ফিরেছি, আর ক্লাসের পর এখানে এটা আমার কাজ, তো আমি অবশ্যই এখানে অ্যাটেন্ড করতে এসেছি। আর আমার এই
একটা অনেস্ট অ্যানসার পাওয়া গেল। এটা দেবে না এন্টারপ্রেনারশিপে তোমার কোনো ইন্টারেস্ট
না প্লিজ।
You said you are basically a spiritual guy. Spirituality, entrepreneurship completely different.
অ্যাকচুয়ালি এটা সম্পর্কে আমার কোনো ধারণা নেই। আমি বিশেষ করে এটা ম্যাম যখন জানতে চাইছিলেন যে কারো কোনো প্রশ্ন আছে কিনা, আমি ওটাই করতে যাচ্ছিলাম, তারপরে উনি শশী থেররের একটা গল্প বললেন, তো আমি ওই কোশ্চেনটাই পরবর্তীকালে করতাম, যে মানে আমার বিষয়টা সম্পর্কে কোনো ধারণাই নেই। আমি ওই শার্ক ট্যাঙ্ক যেগুলো হয় ওগুলো টুকটাক ভিডিও দেখেছি।
অনেকগুলো হয় ভারতে। One is definitely Shark Tank, then there is a horses stable, then there is some tiger's den. But fortunately, we all are human. Neither we are shark, nor tiger, nor we are horse. And there is no intention for entrepreneurs or investors to become like animal. Yeah?
It should be
You agree?
named human tank.
Yeah? Okay. So yes, ma'am, what's your good name?
Sir, Antora.
Antora. Please.
Thank you.
And why you are here?
Sir, definitely for exposure and like to meet such eminent people.
Oh my God. So I now would like to probably change the focus towards my two great friends. One is definitely Rahul, naam to suna hoga. Another one is Simran. कभी कभी हीरो लोग आके उसको उठा के ले जाते हैं हर एक मूवी में कॉमन है और इसके पीछे कौन रहता है
अरिजीत सिंह का गाना
मेरे पीछे विलन लगे रहते हैं हर मूवी में.
would love to understand what exactly you do, Rahul, and if you can little bit introduce yourself towards the audience and maybe talk a little bit brief why you started your entrepreneur.
So, hello everyone, good afternoon. So it's great to be present here with all of you. And so my name is Rahul Sadavartia. I did my computer engineering from Manipal Institute of Technology in 2010. I graduated from there. And after that, I was involved in a lot of teaching activities, tech development. Or if you guys know, because you are from science profile, you may have known Mr. Malek Khanderwal, who's a leading teacher for IIT JEE preparation. So I was with him associated. We developed a e-learning model in 2010, but we did not have the network to make it run everywhere, so we could not scale it up or make a business out of it. So that was my first assignment as an engineer, and after that I realized that I would more like to get involved in my family business, which was related to electrical manufacturing. So I did that for 5 years, developed a lot of products. I became the joint secretary for ELMA, which is Electronics Manufacturers Association of West Bengal. So I was the joint secretary for the same for 2015 to 2021. Then I got into mobile trade business. I've been associated with over 10 brands, but since 2017, I am like the leading distributor for Oppo mobile phones in West Bengal. And through ELMA, I have known Arijit sir for almost a decade, and we became great friends. And after COVID, like during COVID, we were both individually working on our own health. Okay, so and we saw a lot of similarity in our approach and our thought process, and we decided that okay, maybe we can make a startup out of it and use things that we are using on ourselves to stay healthy, medicine free, and use similar things with advanced experts on board and make a startup out of it and help people in general to get fitter. So this has been almost a year-long journey between the two of us, and now we are like more towards the launch phase and making preparations to actually launch the product. So we are in that phase of our startup right now, forming associations, and the aim is to make people healthy both physically, mentally, emotionally. Okay, and that will involve a lot of practices also. It will focus on their nutrition also, it will focus on their mindset also. Because when you study how to become medicine free, becoming healthy is a total different thing. Becoming medicine free is a very advanced concept. Okay, so to get there, you will have to focus on all aspects of health, from physical aspects, mental aspects, and emotional aspects. And a little bit more about our plans and projections. So like, you all are zoology students, okay, but I called you biotechnology students. Why? Anyone has an answer for that? Anyone? So what is zoology? You all are zoology students.
Let them think, but before that I would love to take probably the focus again towards Simran.
Okay, so I'll leave you with this thought. Maybe we can get back
Sim,
to
if you can kindly introduce yourself and
A very good afternoon. Thank you, sir. A very good afternoon, everyone. I'm Simran Lakhotia. I graduated from school in 2015 and I went to Manipal University. I pursued my BA in journalism. I worked with a lot of brands during my journalism stint. I worked with CNN, IBM, Press Trust of India. After completing my journalism, I did a 1-year job with Reuters, if you all know. It's the biggest news agency in the world. I worked with Reuters as a business journalist and I covered Asian markets for a living. I think where I went crazy in that stint was that I used to have 11 in the night to 7 in the morning job. And Asian markets, as Indians, we have a lot of fun knowing brands, that are known to us. Britannia, Surf, your Natraj and Dabur, Himalaya, all these brands are known to us. So covering them is easier. Maza aata hai. You know these brands, so you hear about their markets. But when it comes, or even American brands for that matter, but Asian brands were really undercovered, and those brands were never heard of. So naturally, when you were covering them, the interest levels would go down harder. So we covered Australian and New Zealand markets, and it got very hectic after a point, because we had to cover 11 countries on the go. So we had to give out market reports immediately about all those 11 countries, and they used to open before the normal Indian markets. So we had to push all that out before 4:30 in the morning. So as challenging as it was, but 1 year of good challenge, it was like 11 in the night to 7 in the morning, you didn't see daylight properly, but you know what was happening in MSCI index. Wasn't really changing, but yeah. During that stint, I found my love for business. I loved reading press releases and knowing ki kya ho raha hai, what's happening in a company, whether their revenues are rising, their profits are falling, what's happening, what's moving the companies, the share prices without anything happening. What happens is when a share price moves, you always think, why is it moving, right? Sometimes there's no reason. So you have to look at the broader aspect of things, like general life. When you don't know why something's happening, you have to look at the bigger picture. So that's exactly what happened. I resigned from Reuters a year later, and I joined my family telecom business. We work with the Indian Railways. We lay fiber. Completely different from what I do, communication to telecommunication. There's no similarity between them. But I joined my family business to get hands-on knowledge about what it is like to run a business. And after joining that, I got more involved. I started learning finance better. I took charge of accounting in general, which was my biggest fear, mind you. I was really scared of math. But I took accounting and taxation as one of my biggest learning curves that year. That was 2019 to 2020. Bad year to learn accounting, but good year to face it. And eventually in 2021, I started my own food and beverage consultancy. I'm really fond of restaurants, building them, growing them, making menus, looking around ambiently and critiquing them. And that's where I found something that I thoroughly enjoyed. I started Curato, a food and beverage consultancy in 2021. Having hit by pandemic, not a lot of brands needed consultancy. They wanted to do it on their own. But we somehow came through. We worked with great brands in Calcutta, if you all would know. We worked with Five Madmen, we worked with Zorbit. We worked with brands outside of Calcutta, which was Puktan, and we worked with brands in Lucknow and Patna, which were pretty big too. We worked with JK Masale, and we worked with really fun brands to come up with conceptualization for new products as well as menus. Eventually, very much so last year, we all met, and we came with a bigger purpose. Having been in the industry, as I mentioned, for a bit, we realized that a lot of things were slacking. A lot of things in terms of nutrition was slacking. A lot of things which were very mainstream now, because Calcutta was an exhausted stuff. New things had to come up, and risk takers had to come and do it. So a lot of amidst us, not just us, but there's so many people now who are actively looking at it the way we are. And it was great when 3 of us came together to put in a thought. Like I mentioned, you never know when somebody's thoughts click with yours. So that's exactly what happened with us. We had a great time making our model together. And here we are, launching Easy Eats in no time, in about another couple of months. And sitting before you all telling you all my journey.
Super. So let me give you a little bit of brief about myself. Two amazing people. So I started my life as an entrepreneur when I was 17 years old. I left so-called JEE. I thought that it is going to waste my 4 years, and that's true, with due respect to all the BTech and BEs. So I joined economics and I started my own venture, which is India's one of the first game development studio. We started in Calcutta, called Virtual Infocom. We build game titles like Shaktiman with Mr. Mukesh Khanna. We build, I'll give example of Calcutta, you will relate it more. We give popularity to stars. For an example, we created games called Boss 2 with superstar Jeet, Shubhasri and Nusrat. Then we acquired Nilanjana with Priyanka Sarkar, Moinak. I can go on with those examples. We recruited more than 350 plus actor and actress across the world, worked with several different Hollywood, Bollywood celebrities, give them platform, got over 25 million usually footfall in almost each and every product that we have. So we are basically a product company. That's how I started as a technologist. While doing my graduation, I realized that I really have to pursue my study, otherwise my father is going to throw me out from his house. So I had to go for master degree. I did my MCA. I did a couple of multiple different kind of global certifications and realized that all these things are big zero. Until unless you have a skill set and risk-taking appetite to start on your own. 2008 onwards, I started investing in startups. I started realizing that they need a guidance, they need a platform, they need mentoring, not only money. So there are two kind of investors available in the market. If you call that as an angel investment, one kind of investors, they actively engage with the startup. Second kind of investors are sleeping investors. They give money and say that end of the year, I need your balance sheet and I want to check whether you are making profit or whether you are making loss. I'm in the first category. And I'm a jury member in Government of India, Startup India Award. If you have heard about that, it is the biggest Startup India Award running by our Prime Minister's office. I sit as a board of advisor into several different universities, not in Calcutta University. I sit in the IIM Calcutta Innovation Park, I sit in IITs, I sit in Oman, I sit in UK, I sit in Scotland, several different university campuses, several different companies, invested in more than, at the moment, 27 different vertical of business. I'm not going to give you the number, total number. And I run a platform called Entrepreneur Face, wherein both of them are actually mentors, which is a platform for startups to grow and probably have some wing to fly. And then I run a fund and accelerator called Co-Innovate Ventures, and I'm founder of World Leader Summit, which is world's largest leadership summit. Not sure if you have heard about that. People like Swati Mandela, Craig Johnston, I can go on with names, Steve Waugh, etc. They actually spoke in my platform. It's got 97 plus countries connect. My last travel, well, I'm a globetrotter. I traveled more than 40 plus countries because of business. Understood that whenever I come back to this town, this city, it is literally city of joy. And you are getting that joy when you are actually going out of your immigration. So you are getting amazing output from the local taxi drivers. So nothing's gonna change until unless we change our mindset. While doing technology business, while entering into, well, sorry, I'm a polymath, so maybe it sounds very, very awkward. So I draw, I fight, I do photography, I eat a lot, as well as I love to speak. And at the same moment, I'm an introvert, right? So the fun part is when you guys are not speaking, not opening up, completely understood by a person like me. I used to write poem as well. Yeah, and I'm a book writer, an author. My recent book is published in Amazon. If you really want to buy, don't buy. It's a waste of your money because it's completely related to entrepreneurship and why you shouldn't take money in the early stage as an entrepreneur, right? So there are long description of mine because it's like approximate 25 years. I have been doing this, I would say, riding tiger. So entrepreneurship, if you really want to understand, in my words, is basically riding a tiger. I can explain. This is a metaphor, but when you start your journey, you are actually adopting a cow. You're feeding it with milk with the expectation that someday it will grow big and you will actually ride on the top of it. Anyone ever tried? Sitting on the back of a tiger? We do every day. Why? If that tiger is hungry, that's your business. It's gonna kill you. Or you have to kill it. Right? So when you talk about risk, that is the risk-taking appetite of every entrepreneur. Basic difference between entrepreneur and a business person, if I may give you one single pointer, businessmen usually, or women, they usually work for money and profit. Entrepreneurs, they run for passion. Money becomes byproduct for them. It's the basic difference, nothing else. Everybody here in this world wants to make money. Okay, let me ask a very silly question to all of you. I love backbenchers. I used to be a third bencher, usually thrown out of my classroom in history classes. So I would love to take that fellow in the back. Mukh lukiye boshe achi. Yes, I love your hairstyle. Super. What's your good name?
মনজয় ঘোষ।
মনজয় ঘোষ। কার মনজয় ঘোষ?
অ্যাকচুয়ালি বাবা আর মা মিলে দিয়েছিলেন নামটা।
বেশ তো, এখন কার মনজয় করছো? কারো করছো না? গার্লফ্রেন্ড আছে? আমি অড কোয়েশ্চেন করে ফেললাম না? তুমি রামকৃষ্ণ? খুলে বলো ভাই। See, in this room, usually whenever I am actually speaking solo or in a panel, সিটি, তালি, আওয়াজ তিনটেই চলতে পারে। রুল ব্রেক, রাইট? ওকে, কি করো তুমি?
আমি এমএসসি 4th সেমিস্টার।
কি করতে চাও লাইফ?
অ্যাকচুয়ালি স্যার আমি সিঙ্গার হতে চাই।
অ্যাকচুয়ালি তুমি সিঙ্গার হতে চাও, তো এই ডিপার্টমেন্টে কেন জয়েন করে?
জুলজিতে গ্র্যাজুয়েশন করেছি, তো মানে মাস্টার্স
করতেই হবে তাই।
মা বাবা।
Okay, raise your hands who have got different kind of focus in your life apart from this education system. 1, 2, 3, 4 only. Rest of the people, they are inclined 5. Amazing. হাতটা একটু উপরে তুললে আমি দেখতে পেতাম, আমি চোখে কম দেখি আজকাল। 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
It's only the guys who want to do something.
No,
I
there is
see
one
the girls
lady.
there.
She don't wanted to.
Don't
Okay.
hesitate, please, full.
Assuming that 5 people have the courage, and I assume that maybe more 10 people don't have the mindset at the moment to raise their hand. This is very common in Calcutta, so don't worry. I understand the mindset. So let me come back to my panel. Please sit down. Simran, if you were there as an audience and you're thinking that 3 of these guys are actually came here just to probably make our brains jelly. That's what happened here.
Yeah.
What would be your perspective if you are there in the audience? What would you ask to the panel?
Considering the fact that we're totally different in terms of the expertise we are providing and what they have, I would be very curious to know what exactly goes behind this sphere. Like, I feel, I have, just out of curiosity, have you all done jobs yet? Have you all gotten out in the job markets? Okay. So when I was doing my BA, I was always very curious. Kya hota hai dusre side? What happens on the other end of the spectrum? It doesn't matter whether it was a normal service person, like a normal professional, whether it was a businessman, or whether it was normal a venture capitalist or a politician also. I was always very curious to ask, sir, tell me more about, what you're doing. Very generic, but always helps. It helps stir a conversation. When I supposedly, if I tell you that, okay, this is what I am doing, you will have a cross question. That will make a conversation. That will make your mind also work. That will make my mind also work. What sir asked right now, it was more like making me also think. Y'all were also thinking, right? A little. So that's the purpose, to make you think, right? If I don't think from your perspective, you'll never be able to think from mine. Just keeping myself in your shoes, I think I'd also ask, like, I'm very curious to know that what do y'all exactly, like, if y'all have studied in MSc, what did y'all exactly study? 4th semester tak pahunch gaye ho. What were the fun subjects that y'all had? Same way you can ask me, what was the fun stint you did? Okay, you had so many verticals. Fine. Coming from a journalism background, how did business even fall in your lap? Or why was it? Or same for him, coming from an engineering background, why did business excite him? We all came from a different, let's say, sector, educational side of things. And when we flourished into the real job side, things became completely different. So it does tend to happen in this conversation, if I can make you all aware, that it does happen that sometimes what you'll take your education in, you don't necessarily get a job in that. But mind you, my education taught me exactly how to tackle the job I'm taking today. So if your perseverance today in your course is what your education is, then that's going to take you a long way in your job life as well. This is my takeaway from the whatever 7-8 years I've been working. That's what I've learned.
Let me give you a very different kind of perspective. Okay, maybe someone is in love with singing. Maybe someone is a poet in this classroom. Maybe somebody is doing social work. I don't know. Maybe someone is an artist. Even that also I don't know. But if you have a different kind of hobby in your life, that is going to give you your career path. Trust us on this. Let me give you one live example with this gentleman. Rahul, you started the family business. You took care of your family business. Eventually, you ventured into Oppo. Eventually, you found that there is a passion, and you wanted to pursue that passion. And to pursue that passion, you have to do a lot of things: learning, communicating, connecting, right?
Yes.
In 5 minutes, can you please explain them what all you have been through? To start Easy Eats or Health Planeta or communicating with a yoga trainer or maybe a scientist?
Okay. So with Health Planeta, again, the mission was to make people healthy. Okay, and I was myself going through a very troublesome phase in my life. I'll not get into details of that. So I first realized, okay, first I should start with myself, make myself physically, mentally healthy and medicine free. Then only I'll feel that the approach is working and I'll use it on others. So I tried to get into a lot of things. I was experimenting basically, and I encountered a few things related to mysticism also, like energy healing, and also I got associated with one such association, learned about human energy, and that's where my journey started into understanding where my body reacts to a certain event, okay, external stimuli of any kind, and then I started researching into how it affects others and what is the general reason why it's happening. And that's how we have built from scratch, and we have quite decent technology today where we are already researching into a lot of quantum aspects of medication, of food, of energy, and we are trying to incorporate all of this in the form of AI-based tech into our startup, into different models, both health related, both nutrition related, mindset related, everywhere. Okay, so if you read about quantum technologies, it is something that is expected 2, 3, 5 years down the line. Let's see how much of it we can launch right now in our Health Planeta venture. So that is one part of it. And now we are also building on a lot of new age programs related to yoga, related to workouts, for which we have quantum scientists who are also yoga professionals. We have astrophysicists who are also yoga professionals. Maybe some of you, if you're interested, so we'll have a zoologist on board as well, who will also help us develop that program if someone is actually researching very deep into it. I don't mind, having some young person advising us, guiding us. Okay, so it's like we are trying to create a team of people, experts in their own respective fields. So if it comes to healing, I have more than 5 different types of healers with different skill set, at least nationally renowned, not internationally all of them, but most are nationally renowned, will also be a part of the program, that developing the same program based on yoga, based on a lot of these aspects that we will launch to make people healthy.
Cool. Shifting towards the audience, I need 5 volunteers to tell me what they had in their lunch today. Please.
Sandwich.
Okay. And the bread is white or brown?
White.
White bread. Inside? Filling?
Many things with the sauces.
Sausage.
Sauce.
Sauce.
Ketchup. Potato. Tomatoes. Cucumber. Salt.
Okay. Why you had that?
My mother made it.
How much calorie value was there?
Which I should.
No, that's up to you.
That's fine. It's
I'm trying to
completely
lose weight. So I should.
Wrong concept. You're actually in a verge of losing bad fat from the body, not weight.
Yeah, bad fat actually.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Muscle building is good. When you're building muscle, your body weight will increase. When you're losing fat, you will look good. Yeah? What's going on?
আন্দোলন
Ah, ঠিক. Usual Bengal, that's fine. You understand? Hey, চলছে না চলবে না.
Oh, it's good.